Senator Myron Penn is a lie and the truth ain't in him. Senator Myron Penn came through here, socialized among us, met with us, talked to us. We thought he was communicating with us and promised us on his family that he would never, ever do anything that would be disruptive to this community, detrimental to our people, or corrupt. And he's lied on all three counts. And he's lied so boldly until he won't even come into this community anymore. Everybody in this community, from politicians to plain old clubs and meetings, have been trying to get Senator Penn to come into this county. And he has 4 counties. And he's going to Lee County because a friend of mine saw him down there in a meeting the other day. He tried to dig a hole to go into when my friend saw him and tried to speak to him. Tried to duck so he wouldn't even have to speak to a person from Macon County. That's the way it was interpreted anyhow. And this man set in a meeting up with the Concerned Citizens for Justice up on Church Street. And he told us about the attempts that had been made with him to offer him big money and bribes and promises and etc. And he said out of his own mouth, I'll never be able to do that because my mama and my wife would not be able to handle it. Well, the wife is no longer there. I guess she must have learned before we did. And I don't know what the situation is in the rest of part of his family. But I do know that Senator Penn, Myron Penn, is a sin and a shame before God above. Now, let me show you where we messed up at. Because Senator Penn was non-responsive during his first term. He was arrogant during his first term. He was a liar during his first term. And he was apparently hooked into Master's camp during the first term, doing Master's will. Now, many of us in the community knew that. And I have to take a hit, because I certainly didn't bring it to you enough. I told you on this television several times that Penn could not be found. Anybody see Myron Penn, tell him I'd like to talk to him. You know, Myron Penn is not doing his job. Myron Penn is disrespecting his community. But I didn't do it the way that I should have done it. I should have been on there every week with a man in a critical position like this telling you about the failure and the despair that he was contributing to in your community. But I didn't do that. I neglected to do that. All the other people around me who knew what was going on, who did not come out on the radio and did not come out in the newspaper and did not come out with leaflets and pamphlets and help you to know that. We're all to blame. So we can't blame Penn all the way. We have to blame ourselves too. So what can we do with this? Well, it's not the end of the world. We can chalk it up as an experience. And we can use it to look at Penn for the future. And if he ever sticks his ugly head up again and declares that he's going to run for anything in Macon County, then we can make sure that he does not be able to make dog catcher in this county as a politician. Now, why is Chief so hard on Penn? I'm so hard on Penn because Penn is a powerful black man. We elected him to a very powerful position. It's called state senator. It's only about 32, 33 of them down there. And they run the whole cotton-picking state of Alabama. So when we are fortunate enough to carve out a niche where we can slide a black person into office, that black person ought to go into office with the level of sensitivity, concern, love, trust, and respect for us, that whatever comes down the state pike, he ought to be standing there carving off a piece of everything that comes down for his 4 counties, including Macon County. But he's not doing that. You know what Senator Penn did, apparently? Senator Penn got in the office, and something happened. Because you just can't convince me that a man who talks about principle as tough as he was talking about principle, and a man who swears by his mama and his wife, it's hard for me to believe that that man would just arbitrarily go one day and change his mind and go a different direction. Something happened. I don't know whether they tricked him and caught him in a compromising situation, or whether the cash offer was just too big to refuse. I don't know what it was, or I don't know what other promises could have been made. But all I know is Senator Penn was headed in this direction, and all of a sudden he made a quick left. It's like the military. Column left, hut. That's what he did. And things haven't been the same since. All of the bills that you passed that has to do with bingo have been for the master's good. Nothing has been proposed in order to serve the people's needs and the people's good. And I just believe that that is a sin and a shame before God. Myron Penn, our state senator for the 28th district, is a sin and a shame before God.